I can't say how grateful I am. Thank you for saving Bonney's life. If you see her again, could you tell her something for me? Please wish her a happy 10th birthday. Damn. That is crazy. I think you can tell I just read the chapter. Actually, wait a second. I wish there was a better way to break this, and I don't know where to go with this. I don't know where I'm going with this video. I have notes, I have bullet points of things I want to touch on and talk about, or I have a full script. This is just me. This chapter moved me. We won't jump right to the end. I couldn't take it. The execution of this was so flawless that honestly, this is one of the best flashbacks ever. Based off of the execution. It got me. If you see my live reaction, you know I had to switch the cameras or I was ugly crying. Damn. That is crazy. Yeah, this chapter hit. This was a good chapter. Nah, yo, I'm not gonna lie. This is the most a chapter's hit me in a while, dog. That is crazy. It's allergy season. Just a lot of allergies. Oda, magnificent. But there were other things to the chapter. We'll get back to it. But man, I'm moved. One Piece chapter 1102, Life of Kuma. When we talk about best characters in One Piece, I think you'd be crazy not to include him at this point. But let's start from the top. The cover story being what it is, it's just, you know, it makes sense that it's Bonney, giving more to Bonney's story and adding to Bonney's journey. Of course, it's not canon because it's a cover art request, but we had a cover art request a few chapters ago where it was Kuma fishing out of the river with Bonney, or Ginny rather. It's a cover art request, but it fits so well with the story, it's just like, we treat it as canon. And Oda has been blurring the lines a little bit, but with Bonney, she's assuming the role of pirate, and everybody's following her, calling her the Bonney Pirates, calling them the Bonney Pirates, the faction, the Bonney Pirates. It's cool, because at the end of the day, this is a kid, right? This is a young girl that's not even 10 years old yet, and she's looking for her dad. I made a video about the spoiler panel that we got from Jump Festa, and my prediction was for Kuma's backstory to end, for the flashback to end, we have to see all the way up until Sabaody, until Kuma's death. And boy, did we see it. And boy, is it tragic. And boy, does it make me sad. And boy, that's the reason why I'm wearing these glasses right now. These shades. Because if y'all see my eyes, it's tough holding back because of how this chapter was. Bonnie's making a name for herself. She's going about the world and she's turning people into kids or senior citizens, right? That's her power. And seemingly how she's used her power to turn from a kid to a grown adult and turn from even a kid to Connie, that's where she specializes. And a lot of people, they are confused as to what's going on. They don't understand what's happening, but they know when that pirate crew crosses other people, they turn into kids or senior citizens. No in between. She's making a name for herself. It makes me think about Ace and how Ace's goal was to make a name for himself to surpass his dad. And Bonnie's goal is to make a name for herself to get acknowledged by her dad. There's some other contrasts and parallels happening in this chapter that we're going to point out, but that's one that I thought about the other day because Anne Bonny was a theory that's been going on for a long time and how Anne Bonny could be a kid of Gold Roger. Not sure if this is something Oda thought about or just something that happened to be coincidence, but their paths were somewhat similar, but they both went out, Ace and Bonney, to make a name for themselves, but for completely different reasons. I think it's great. The crazy part is that Bonney was close on Kuma's heels several times, but Kuma, knowing that he can't see her, was literally just leaving her in the dust, right? Because he has a power that can just pop and disappear anywhere, because his goal was to save her life, and saving her life comes with him not seeing her. As painful as it may be, they cannot interact, and he has to keep all this to himself, and that's the tough part about it, bro. The tough part about it is that Kuma, in the midst of all this, he can't tell Bonney what's going on. He can't tell anybody pretty much what's going on. The people that know are the people that know. Anybody else, it is what it is. He has to hold that right in here. His goals, his motivations, his aspirations, his death. He can't tell Bonney about it. The person that he wants to see the most, the person that he's doing this for, he can't talk to about it. And that's the thing that's messing me up the most, because like, he is dying slowly. And you know, when you're dying, you want to be around the people that love you, the people that care about you. And that's what they say. He can't do that. He has to be a puppet, someone that's being used by the world government. For Saturn, he is doing everything in his power to drain Kuma and make his death so horrific and painful. It's personal for Saturn. I'm wondering exactly, what did the Buccaneers do to you back in the day for you to have this sort of vitriol against Kuma? Yeah, he bested you a few times, or once that we know of. Was that it? Was that the only reason? It has to be about the Buccaneer history that he mentioned, saying, hey, the Buccaneers from the past, they've done things, and so it is what it is. This is the path that was set out based on how the type of people you were when you were born. This is just your path. But come on, man. But Kuma disappears on Bonney. Bonney doesn't lose hope, and she says, yo, since we're looking for Dad, we're not just gonna look for Dad, we're gonna look for Nika as well. Because when we meet him, imagine his face when I say, yo, I saw Nika at this spot. It's crazy how Bonnie's intertwined or crossed over with a lot of these characters that have aspirations and goals. She wants to meet her dad, she's living for her dad, but she wants to gain some experience and things that she can share with him and show off a little bit. Because at the end of the day, right, she's a kid. She's trying to do it for her father. It's so heartbreaking considering the ending, but man, we go forward and we see Luffy just beating Arlong, getting his first bounty, 30 million berry bounty. And seeing it from this perspective is so dope because we get to see other people react to Luffy's bounty that we never saw before. Dragon, right? Sabo's like, yo, where you going? Logtown. For what? We don't know. Smoker. We know what happened in Logtown between Luffy and Smoker and Dragon. Ace and Jinbei. That relationship seems to be a very important one in the story. We know it is. But Ace showing Jinbei Luffy's bounty, and Jinbei kind of like, yo, this little brat, he was able to take down Arlong. And we can't forget about Jinbei's relationship with Arlong and knowing pretty much how formidable Arlong is. Something that I missed when I read the panel for Jump Festa. Jinbei's like, yo, how did he take down Arlong? Arlong is a beast. This little guy took down Arlong. And Ace like, yeah, that's my brother. He's supposed to. What you thought? It's kind of dope. But Kuma talking about Dragon and Luffy becoming a pirate, right? But Dragon, it coincides really well with chapter 100. And Dragon says, a pirate, huh? That's okay too. It's freedom. And Dragon, he's all about that. And a pirate, he said, that's fine too. As long as you're not a Marine, I don't care. But then Bonney, she's establishing rules for her crew, but she's a good pirate for all intents and purposes. A good pirate. No bad people. Bad, that's subjective. Don't help a soul unless they really need it. That's subjective. She's a kid. This is a kid's mentality. Well, we're not going to get whatever we want, but only from bad guys. Even down to her putting on a lipstick and putting the piercing by her cheek where she had the jewels. Everything is to get her dad's attention. Not knowing that she's never left her dad's attention. Not knowing that her dad is doing everything for him. We fast forward to Egghead, where Kuma is now seeing himself being replicated. And he said, yo, this is crazy. This is actually insane to see. It's unsettling. And Vegapunk's like, what do you mean? Like, this is going smoothly. The progression is going very smooth. But then they're breaking down the information because Kuma's like, I can't hide anything from you because you're going to research my memories anyway. So here it is. Dragon got a son. They're like, what? They start breaking down things. Vegapunk doesn't really give too much in regards to Nika, but we know he researched Nika. But Kuma's saying, yo, a rubber man going against the world government. Yo, it reminds me of my idol. It could just be coincidence, but it reminds me of my idol. But think about it. Kuma was just walking back in the day. He saw Luffy training. He's like, yo, what the heck? Dragon shut him down. Didn't even talk about it anymore. Coincidence. Now, this same kid just went against the world government. Okay, you know, it is what it is. It may just be coincidence, things happening. I'm not going to read too much into it. Now, move forward to Thriller Bark. He had special orders to wipe out the Straw Hats. Everybody stood up to him. Say, yo, we're not giving up, Luffy. Are you crazy? Even in the midst of it, we got one of the best moments again in the story. Nothing happened. If not the best, nothing happened. And we got Zoro stocks are up now. Zoro stocks are up. We're not going to dwell too much on this, but in the chapter, we got the moment from a different perspective, Kuma's perspective, where Kuma got the pain out of Luffy. And he said, yo, you must be willing to bear all this pain for yourselves. And he said to himself now, this much damage might be even enough to knock me out. Kuma's a buccaneer. Remember, Kuma's doing this every weekend, so he's used to this type of pain for the most part. He should be. But that pain that was coming out of Luffy, he said, yo, even this might knock me out. Fresh Kuma, just pulling up. No previous battle. Zoro took it. Nothing happened. Are you kidding me? First off, this specific thing is Zoro stock. It's up. Durability, endurance, whatever you want to classify it as, it's up. He has more endurance than a buccaneer. They're built for this. And Zoro, possibly, Kuma can't handle what Zoro went through. And again, Zoro was active in Thriller Bark, didn't have the most, craziest opponent. He exerted himself a little bit, moderately, still took it. Nothing happened. Give the man his credit. I know there's a lot of Zoro stands out there, and Zoro stands give Zoro a bad name, but I think we gotta call a spade a spade. This is epic. The man is legit, and the story keeps backing it. I don't know why we keep denying it. I'm not talking about the stands that go too far. I'm talking about fans of the story, fans of the character, and we're acknowledging the greatness. That's all. Now, Kuma thinks very highly of Dragon. That's why I have some high expectations for Dragon, because you're gonna have to live up to the hype now. Because Kuma's saying, yo, you got great friends, Dragon, and I expect that of you. I expect that of your son because you're you, essentially what he's saying. So Dragon, what type of man are you? And I expect great things for Dragon too. And he's shown, I think, his merit and the things that he values, the people that he value. You are the people that are around you, and every person that Dragon has put around him has shown their character, and it's been stellar. Typically in every faction, they're good people, they're bad people. So far with the revolutionaries, they've been what most people will call good people, stellar human beings, and Kuma was one of them. And I don't think there's a better human being. And of course, this is subjective, but we can look at it from the objective perspective as well. This man is the most selfless person in the story. In the reaction, people are comparing him to Luffy. He clears Luffy. Luffy's doing it because he cares about the person that's being affected. Kuma's doing it because he cares about the world. Ultimately, it's for Bonney, because the world is a better place. Bonney is safer, but so selfless. This man is the true saint. The Celestial Dragons, they fake. They shouldn't have saint in front of their name. That's Kuma. He is a saint. He is carrying on the will, damn near, bro. I don't want to say a joy boy, but I'm gonna say it here. Kuma is a true hero of this story. Luffy doesn't want to take up that mantle and be that person, that hero. Kuma is, and his actions have showed it and solidified it. There's nobody else in the story. Garp the hero, sure, even though we know that's kind of fraudulent. The linchpin, the most underrated, unrecognized hero in the story. The man who life is dealt the worst possible hand, time and time and time and time again, rose above it all and still managed to be the most calmest, safest, comfortable person you could ever come across. A big teddy bear when he should be a grizzly bear, a polar bear. He should be cold. He should hate the world. He shouldn't care about Luffy and saving him and what it could do for the world, especially on his deathbed. Nah, we flash to Sabori. Bonnie's there. We're getting the perspective, another perspective of Bonney. Remember Bonney got introduced? We saw her. The angle was crazy considering what we know now. She's eating pizza. They tell her, yo, chill. The more you do, the more people are going to pay attention to us. In that moment that we see the perspective of Bonney, Oda gives us a different perspective. Guess who saw her in that moment? Kuma saying, yo, this is the last time I'll see your face. And you see Kuma just peeking, sneaking to get a peek of his daughter for the last time. He will never, ever see her again because he is ultimately going to die. But I'm gonna sneak a peek because I just gotta see you. Come on, bro. You can't tell me that doesn't move you, dog. You can't tell me that doesn't make you feel something. Do we then get another perspective? I think the title of this chapter could be perspective, right? But you know, One Piece, the life of Kuma fits as well, but perspective, it's different perspectives. So Kuma's perspective, rather. The slave house. The human shop. Luffy just punched Charlos. Kuma's like, yo, who would do something like that? Nobody's done that for hundreds of years. And the conversation we're having on stream, for hundreds of years, people haven't done that? Well, the conversation now it goes to conditioning and how the world government has done a great job of conditioning the people to not even raise a finger against the Celestial Dragons. That's why the Admiral is sent. It's overkill. No matter what, it's overkill. You know not to touch the Celestial Dragons. They are gods in human form. To them, it's created a mentality where nobody even want to look at them. Nobody wants to stand up to them. That's why dragons' goal is so much greater than we expect, or than we know, than a lot of people give credit for. Hundreds of years, nobody's raised a finger to these people that's oppressed them. They've taxed them. They've killed them. They've taken their wives, their kids, made them slaves. Nobody? Luffy's different. And Kuma acknowledges that. And Kuma acknowledging that made me look at the world government like, are y'all dumb? Kuma is seeing the writing on the wall. Rubber powers, going against the world government. Things keep happening. Things keep shaking. This boy is different. Everybody knowing that things is taboo, burning the world government flag, punching celestial dragons. Wait, are you guys not picking up on what's going on? Are you kidding me? So here we are. Kuma goes and we see a shot of the Straw Hats. It's epic. It's epic. It is the Straw Hats, and they are ready to go. After Luffy punched Charlos, they're ready to go. Only person that looks kind of crazy is Usopp, but he always looks like that. All of them are ready for smoke. Whatever. All right, our captain did that, so what? It is what it is. That's what he does. Let's go. Kuma's move. Nobody has done this. This guy is... Remember, Kuma saw this kid training years ago. It's more than coincidence at this point. It's fate. And he saw it. So then he made a decision. And again, he keeps everything in here because he can't talk to nobody. He's talking to himself, Dragon, Eva. I didn't mean to desert you without saying a word, but I'm gonna leave my own mark. A quiet mark through Bonney and this kid. Their future is the legacy I leave behind. That's when he goes, he stops PX, he talks to Rayleigh, he talks to Kizaru. Something that got missed here is what he said. We still don't know what he said. Oda's still saving that. Maybe we might see it from Kizaru's perspective, but Oda's saving that. What did he say to Kizaru? What did he say to Rayleigh? But Luffy's losing his mind. I couldn't save any of them. That's one of the moments that moved me the most in One Piece. When they thought the Straw Hats got eradicated. And Kuma, again, keeping it all within here. Saying, man, you got it all wrong, bro. I'm just trying to show you you're not at that level yet. Don't go out there yet. You're on your team. You're not ready. So he foresaw all this and really kind of saw. I wonder if he whispered to Rayleigh, they're not ready. This is to get them ready. I wonder, what did he say? But this man essentially a hero in the story, y'all. Are we seeing this? All the people mad and pissed off at the flashback. Oh man, it's going too long. Are y'all seeing this? How can you not be moved, bro? How? He says, you got it all wrong. I'm trying to show you you're not on that level. Chill out. Because one day you will someday save the world. He bet his life on Luffy. This is his quiet mark on the world. Quiet. By the way, nobody knew. No fanfare, no propaganda. I'm gonna leave this mark. Not gonna tell anybody. I can't tell anybody. But I'm okay with that as long as the world is a better place. Can you tell me somebody else is doing this? You go forward in Saturn, he's still being a menace. He's telling Vegapunk, yo, install a self-destruct mechanism. Vegapunk's like, yo, what do you mean? Are you that terrified? He said, if he goes awry and we're not there, who gonna stop him? And he said, matter of fact, I don't care what you think about it. We hired you. Do what I say. And that's it. Vegapunk still had another suggestion. Like, what about a switch between personalities? That could work. And, he's like, yo, man, I just told you, shut up. I don't want no switch. I don't want no antenna. I don't want... He's dead. That shows me it's personal for Saturn. He does not like these Buccaneers at all. Saturn wanted to destroy him effectively. No trace of his humanity, his individuality. And he's saying, yo, don't try to double cross me. I am a man of science as well. I will know. And you forget about that. He's the warrior god of science. And so this tells me that Oda's given us a hint towards his background, where it's like, it's not just they were assigned to these things. They were assigned because they specialized in these things. Maybe when they were actually out there in the human world doing things before they became gods. Maybe they were always gods, but they were doing that in their profession in the world. Whatever it is, he's a man of science. So he said, you can't trick me. Vegapunk then says, but what if we do? He won't get to see Bonney. We don't get to see the response to that. But I'm pretty sure Saturn's response is good. She's lucky if she even makes it out. You don't care about these people. But seeing the interaction between Kuma and Vegapunk at the end, this is what broke me, man. This is what broke me, because Kuma at the end, he knew that Vegapunk cared about him. And Vegapunk tried to make it light, like, all right, this is the day you lose your sense of the individuality. Meaning this is the day you die. And Vegapunk's like, yo, it's been fun. Kuma's like, yo, yeah, I suppose it has been. Your first battle assignment is against the Whitebeard Pirates. But then Kuma asked him for a final mission, final program. Vegapunk going against the world government again, which he should. It's like, y'all want to protect the ship. I just want to be a stubborn guardian for their home, even though I won't be here to witness their growth. But I want to do that for them, just at least until the first one comes back. This is a crazy thing considering this is a Straw Hat ship. Who all came here to try to get it? Because Kuma's pretty beat up after 2 years. Who did that? The only person he can talk to about everything, because the person that has access to his memories is Vegapunk. So he's letting it all hang out. He said, yo, his actions moved me. I know Nika is just a legend, but man, if there's somebody that can do something that can change the world, change the seas one day, it's him. And I believe in him. So Luffy had people believing in him that really hadn't interacted with him on that scale. Kuma believed, or started to believe, even before interacting with Luffy. Even without interacting with Luffy per se, interacting with the people around him, he started to be moved even more. So the actions from afar influence, similar to Garp, but on a different level, where Luffy is passively, not actively changing the world, where Dragon is trying to be active. Luffy is passively impacting the world on a major scale. Someone like Kuma took heed to his actions, and it moved him enough to say, yo, I want you to live. I want you to survive. I want you to be all that you can be. It's not about Dragon. At first, I thought he was saving Luffy because of Dragon. No, he had his own agenda, and it was the world. Bro, this man is so pure. I don't know how I would turn out after the world turned their back on me several times, but he never turned his back on the world. Something that was mentioned as well was the fact that Kuma and Doflamingo were introduced at the same time, and these two people, even though the world dealt, well, Doflamingo a great hand, Kuma a terrible hand. Look at the contrast in regards to their actions, how they impacted the world. They continue to impact the world. It's a perfect introduction. Chapter continues though. Vegapunk tries to console him, saying, yo, the way you think, this is proof of your humanity. He doesn't forget to remind him about the memories, which I'm thinking Vegapunk has another plan in store. He asked Kuma about his memories and if this is effectively erasing his memories. He said, nah, it's not erasing them. He says it's a copy, but when you touch it, it disappears. And that's important. That's important to note. When you touch it, it disappears. So then Vegapunk talks about designing something that, if you touch it, he has a way to look into it without touching it. So don't worry about that. But then Kuma, he's so content with his life. He's saying, yo, this is my life, huh? I wonder how many people has been troubled by my actions. Living is nothing without trouble, wouldn't you say? It's a balance. And then we get a montage of Kuma's life. His mom and dad, Ivankov, Ginny, Bonney, Vegapunk, the pain, the joy, the in-between, the running, the traveling. At the end of it, we see Vegapunk about to pull the lever and Kuma behind him just smiling, content, at peace. This is my life. This is what I chose, and I'm okay with it. Vegapunk tries to console him and says, bro, your life hasn't caused anyone harm, right? Your death will cause pain for everyone who loves you. Listen well, Kuma, you are a hero too, not only for Bonney, but for everyone you've ever met. Kuma says thank you and says one last thing, Vegapunk's like, I know. He said, I can't say how grateful I am. Thank you for saving Bonnie's life. If you see her again, could you tell her something for me? Please wish her a happy 10th birthday. And to see Bonney just in tears because the bubble had disappeared and she just saw the life that Kuma had experienced. and everything that he had been through. I'm sure it's in the back of her mind, the possibility that she just killed her dad. Oh my God, it broke me, bro. It's still messing me up. Seriously, guys, this is one of the best chapters in One Piece. I can't say that enough. I am moved. Kuma deserves to be celebrated. He's the true hero of the One Piece story. Saturn, it is coming. It is coming for you. There's no avoiding it, and it won't be swift. It's gonna hurt. Bonney, keep your head up. Your dad lived and died for you. Kuma is one of the best characters in the story, and this is one of the best chapters of the year, if not the chapter of the year. And I stand by that. Guys, like and subscribe. There's a lot more to come because I got to talk about Saturn. I got to talk about this. It's a lot I got to talk about. But y'all be safe. Hug the people you find dear. It's the holiday season, so this is family time. Love your family. Care for your family. Shout out to Kuma, man. Shout out to Oda. He was cooking up with this one. I'm not going to lie. The execution, the backstory, we're going to rank him too. Because this one, amazing chapter.